You can cut the standings of the CFL West in half. Edmonton and Saskatchewan are going for first place. BC and Calgary are fighting for third place. Edmonton's schedule is a bit tougher than Saskatchewan's, but the Eskimos have the advantage of winning the season series, so if they can keep winning, there's no way Saskatchewan can finish on top. As for the race for third, the Calgary Stampeders need a lot of help from BC's opponents, and the Stampeders must help themselves with victories. We may know a lot more after today. At Taylor Field in Regina, the Rough Riders are hosting the BC Lions. We'll have highlights of that game as Saskatchewan tries to clinch a playoff spot. Here in Calgary, the Stampeders must win, and the Eskimos try to win to stay ahead of Saskatchewan in the standings. It's Edmonton at Calgary with bonus coverage from Taylor Field on CFN. The Edmonton Eskimos were easy winners of the first two meetings of the Calgary Stampeders, and they are certainly strong favorites to win today, especially with Larry Kuharich's uncertain situation at quarterback. The Eskimos will scrimmage the ball first, so we'll wait a few minutes to find out who the Stampeders will start, Eric Kramer or Carl Foder. Good kickoff starts this game. Stephen Jones goes out of bounds with the football for the Eskimos. Not quite back to his 30-yard line. It'll be a first down there with Damon Allen at the controls, trying to bounce back from an inconsistent effort last week in Winnipeg.
Joe Farragelli said he has seen Damon Allen this week in practice look more like the Damon Allen of old. Lots of hop, playing around, having some fun, enjoying the game. That's what's been missing, of course, obviously, because of injury.
It's been a hard season for Damon Allen and for Tracy Ham, who is currently out with a shoulder injury. Allen gets plenty of time. A receiver is open, but he fell down. Marco Sincar was there, but couldn't hold his feet. Now, some people have jackets and some don't. It's cool. Not too windy. And when the sun's out, very pleasant. Allen overthrows his intended receiver at the sideline, so the Eskimos get nothing. And that would indicate that Eric Kramer is going to start this game, injuries and all.
Kuharich, I know, has a lot of confidence in Kramer and his ability, both as physically and being able to pick up the system. I don't know if last week's experience, and I guess that's the best way to describe it, he had a chance to learn anything during the game, but I'm sure watching film, and plenty of it this week.
11 Stampeders at the line. Carrick will throw a pass, and it is dropped. A Larry Kuharich type gamble from Joe Farragelli. They thought they saw an opening, and there was certainly one there, but the pass wasn't good enough.
Right from the snap, there's no question. You watch Jerry Cowick. He just pulls up immediately, looks to our left, his right. Ron Howard's over by the sidelines, well past the first down marker, but so was the ball.
Here is the bruised and battered Eric Kramer to the end zone on first down, and there isn't a Stampeder receiver within 15 yards of the ball when it lands.
Now, there wasn't a receiver near the ball, but there were three receivers downfield, and you could have thrown a blanket over them. That's how close they were. Eric Kramer looking to get some relief in this game from the running game. John Williams in the backfield with Petros. Both have the ability to run the football. They might need that to take some pressure off of Kramer.
They run on second down with Williams. He spins away but gets nothing. So an unorthodox start to this game. Edmonton passing from punt formation. The Stampeders with an injured quarterback starting the game, pass on first down and run on second down. And Mark McLaughlin will have a shot at a field goal.
Larry Kuharich told us today that he thought it was important that the Stampeders get out front of Edmonton early. He believes it will help them try to set the Eskimos back on their heels a little bit.
McLaughlin's 35-yard field goal attempt is good. first, thanks in part to an Edmonton turnover. Stanley Blair is the only member of the Edmonton secondary whose position has not changed for this game, and he was right in position here.
Difficult pass because it takes a long time to get to the receiver. Kramer hit just as the ball is thrown. I think that takes a little bit of zip off. But Blair's tight coverage on Christensen is why the ball was intercepted.
All sorts of movement by the Eskimos. Chris Skinner busts through for a decent gain on the ground to the 50-yard line. He's within a couple of yards of a first down. Another update from Regina. Finds Louis Pasaglia punting for the Lions, and Joe Fuller is the deep man for Saskatchewan. Now watch what happens. Fuller clearly with possession. Goes into the end zone. Greg Stuman tackles him there, and it's 2 points for BC. So the Riders' lead is now 10-5. Eskimos short yardage on second down, and Chris Johnstone has picked it up.
Landry settling into that middle linebacker spot after coming from Toronto. Larry Cahart said he hasn't seen any signs of what kind of problems he had when he was in Toronto. He says he's fit in very well, he's playing very well, makes a lot of things happen.
The Edmonton first down to the Calgary 48-yard line. 10.5 minutes left in the first half. The Eskimos down by a point. Allen runs away from the heat. He will continue to run, though even at the last minute it looked as though he was trying to spot a receiver. Damon Allen goes down at the 40-yard line. Another 8-yard gain on first down.
I think we're seeing a quarterback being very heads up. Even though he's forced out, he's always viewing what's going on downfield. That ball's ready to be thrown. If someone comes open, take advantage of it, dump the ball off. He not only makes the calls in the defense, but he does things very similarly to the quarterback.
Allen ducked under what would have been a pretty hard hit by Landry if he'd taken it full. Another second and short play. Johnstone doesn't appear to have it this time. Good work along the line by the Stampeders.
Joe Ferragamo, knowing coming into this game, one of the most consistent parts of the Stampeder Football Club has been their defense. Just a few changes, a very aggressive front four, and of course the addition of Landry in the middle and Ford being healthy now makes them that much more effective.
Well, they are well short, and the measurement indicates that. About a yard short of a first down. Ferragamo leaves Allen on the offense on the field. So a third down gamble from the Calgary 39-yard line. Allen himself trying to burrow for the yard.
Big pile of bodies in there. The average weight about 250 pounds. They'll have to peel them off and take a real good look at it. The dominating part, who's going to get the lowest and get off the football. You see a couple of battles won and lost. It's close enough to bring the change in.
CFL All-Star Match and Win Contest Ballot Collection Day. Fans are able to
barely did they get it. Well, that much needed. I was a bit surprised to see Allen keep it himself. Less than a yard, that's a very safe play, but when you need a full yard, it is usually safer to hand it off.
The Eskimos have had awfully good success in that shortage with a full house backfield and a couple of big backs over 220 pounds.
Field level gives you a good idea of the motion by the Eskimos. Allen almost had it intercepted, and Derek Taylor mad at himself for not picking it off.
Boy, the most dangerous pass rusher on the field is not necessarily the one you can see, but the one you can't see. Damon Allen back straight out. He's looking, but watch from the right side. Stu Laird just levels him just as the ball's falling through. That right arm is exposed. The right shoulder's exposed. Boy, you don't think the quarterbacks take shots. Look at this.
Second and 10.
Allen has been on the injured list twice this season, and his play gives you the impression that injuries are on his mind. even when he's supposedly healthy. Sandusky has that play broken up by Chris Major, and it is third down, and Corrick will come on.
Once again, the Stampeders secondary. Major with 9 interceptions this year. Sometimes they talk about him as being the weak link, but every time they go to him, he responds to the test.
Corrick threw a pass from punt formation earlier. The Eskimos have been known to try fake field goals, and in fact helped to beat Toronto with a touchdown pass to the toaster. Corrick kicks it this time, and it's good, and the Eskimos are in front for the first time in the game. They go up by 6-4. This game is brought to you by Foster's Lager on the Canadian Football Network. Eskimos in front for the first time. The sun is shining here at McMahon Stadium, but in the distance you can see nothing but clouds. Somewhat threatening they are. Stampeders with the ball, down by 2 points now. First down at their 35. Kramer throws it deep, wide open. Willis, 35. He fumbles it, and the Eskimos, did they touch it first? Yes, it is Edmonton ball. Before it goes out of bounds, the Eskimos got a hand on it. Heady play by Danny Taylor. Or do they decide that the play is dead before the fumble?
Either way, Kramer lets this ball go. It just seems to float up there, catches in the wind, and Willis just, it can't come down fast enough. On the hit, the ball comes loose. Now there's Taylor. He comes up and supposedly gets a piece of it before it's out of bounds in the air.
Clearly a fumble. Now perhaps the official who declared Edmonton ball was overruled. Well, I don't understand that one.
Well, either way it stands, it's a 43-yard gain for the Stampeders, and it's still their ball.
Obviously Willis wasn't down when he fumbled, and the official watching the ball bounce made a definite signal, Edmonton possession. But the Stampeders still have the ball.
Williams, the ball carrier.
The Lions get closer still in Regina. Field goal by Louis Pasaglia. And so now Saskatchewan's lead is 10-8.
0-0 with the Molson Sports Bank. Please present the winning program to the Stamps Navy Administration Office again to win number 288-00.
They are midway through the second quarter in Regina. Ball batted up and intercepted. Danny Bass is running with it. He'll be caught, no doubt about it. He fumbles. Stampeders appear to have it back. Yes. Crazy goings on here. You can't tell whose ball it is from one play to the next.
But great plays. You see Petros makes a good play at the end. Bass starts it off on the other side. They're coming hard. Everyone up. Mark Norman in the middle. Bass comes off his block and reads the quarterback. Jumps up, knocks it down. And as you said, you had a feeling he was going to be caught. Ball's in his right hand. As the ball comes loose, Willis comes back and tries to strip Danny Bass of the ball. And Petros comes in late. There's a heads-up play by Willis. Watch Willis's right hand come in right now. Right there.
2 turnovers on the same play. Hard running by John Williams now. Whoa, what a collision with Ron Howard.
John Williams carries for Calgary. Across midfield.
Seems like they're turning up the tempo a little bit. Some pretty good smacking going on.
Gain of 7 yards to the Edmonton 53.
Joe Fairgilly's still trying to figure out that last play.
Howard on the tackle for the Eskimos. Second down. Ladies and gentlemen, the Stampeders would like to salute another youth group attending this afternoon's game.
That's frustrating. Make a good play like that, go down, hopefully give your team good field position, and all of a sudden you hit the ground without the ball in your arms.
Second down, the Stamps need 3, and Tim Petros won't get 1.
As hard as he was running right there, taking people on, Petros was turned away when he hit into the hole immediately. Brett Williams is going to slide. Watch him angle on the snap of the ball. Immediately to the left, cutting across the center, making quick impact. Now Petros is able to get rid of one. He's not going to get rid of Ruck, Bass, and a host of others.
Harper has been punting with the wind, and the average reflects that. Wind doesn't appear quite so strong as he gets set to punt into it. Nice punt for the Stampeders. Williams from his goal line. Gizmo does get outside, but runs out of field and out of bounds at the 6 or 7 yard line. So the score remains Edmonton 6 and Calgary 4. The BC Lions had been chipping away at Saskatchewan's lead, but on this play, the Green Riders built it back almost to the point where they were leading by 10. Ray Elgard, a long pass. Larry Crawford without the ability to make the tackle, and Elgard can saunter to the end zone. Saskatchewan up by 9, 17-8. Here the Eskimos deep in their zone on first down from the 6 yard line. They try to run for some breathing room. Johnstone takes a good hit from Quincy Williams.
Chris Johnstone makes a nice cut back behind Dermott and Pothier, back up the middle, and as you said, receives a pretty good shot. I think if the Eskimos can get this running game going behind the big front 5 of the Eskimos, it'll be to their advantage.
In the East, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers took a 4-point lead in second place over Hamilton and got within 4 of the Toronto Argonauts, whom they play the next 2 weeks back-to-back. Damon Allen over the middle, nice pass, maybe Allen's best, and a good result as Sincar takes a tackle and gains extra yardage.
Allen's pass to Quincy Barco.
Well, they tell you when you catch a football, don't assume you're going to be tackled, and I think Sincar showed us that right there as he bounced off. But as nice as the execution was, it didn't matter. Pierre Verschavel works in there with Dave Richardson at the right guard spot. Gets caught for holding. He's on the right side. He's right in front of number 83, Johnstone. He's working on Mitchell Price. Gets that right hand up a little bit high. It's caught for holding.
Eskimos back where they started at the 6 yard line. Intercepted. Chris Major, the league leader, has his 10th. And a touchdown.
Eskimos sending 3 receivers to one side. And it's been a while since that horse has been able to stretch his legs. As I said, 3 receivers to one side. Damon Allen's throwing to where he wants to, but it gets away. And Chris Major breaks the coverage once he's seen the ball thrown. Good job of blocking downfield, helping him out there, and one quick move by the goal line gives him 6 points.
Block middle.
Mark McLaughlin for the convert, a 30-yard return for the touchdown by Chris Major. A bad snap. Convert is good anyway by McLaughlin, and the Stampeders are back in front with their largest lead of the game, albeit only 5 points. That leads the league, and Chris Major doesn't enjoy any of them better than when he can take him to the end zone.
Well, Joe Farraghelli said the one thing that the Stampeders can do against that different set that they look him is drop back into a zone and disguise it. And maybe that's exactly what he did. Watch the blocking up right here. McCreary and Peterson, boom. On Sandusky, he goes down by Landry. Good job of hustling to the football by the rest of the defense and allowing Major to take it in.
Not a good pass by Damon Allen. Neil, I'm surprised the Eskimos haven't tried to run the ball more. The Stampeders are a team that is supposed to be vulnerable to the run. Johnstone and Skinner both healthy now, and Ryan Walling to help out too. Especially with Damon Allen just not being himself. Calgary's a team that said they wanted to establish the run. I'm surprised Edmonton hasn't tried harder to do that.
Well, every time Edmonton has run the football, they've had some success. Johnstone, Skinner, as you said, Brian Walling. They all have tremendous ability, both as runners as blockers for each other.
Jones forced to run it now. Flag comes down, and Stephen Jones goes down about the 30-yard line. An illegal block against Edmonton is the likely call, and where penalties were really hurting Calgary, now they're starting to affect the Eskimos.
Great angle right there, seeing what Stephen Jones really had to look at after he bobbled the ball, then picked it up. Stampeders flying down, everyone trying to get a helmet on him and knock him off his feet.
Legal block.
The illegal block against the Eskimos pushes it back.
Talking about the running game, Dave, I know as offensive linemen like to run and tee off more on the running game than they do in the passing game. So they feel if you start off and come out passing, you really dictate things and you never get a chance to establish yourself.
Deep in their own territory again, the Eskimos first down. Because they decide to run doesn't mean they'll do it successfully. The Stampeders strong defensively to plug up the gaps on Chris Skinner.
Well, the Eskimos are a team that uses an awful lot of motion, not only with their receivers, but with their running backs. Blake Dermott very slow in getting up. And with that motion, you can often disguise your formations. And that time, they're trying to move people around, completely empty the backfield, and bring another back in and run that delayed draw.
Next Sunday, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts. There is no blackout in the Toronto area, and that's a game that will find the Blue Bombers bidding for first place. They've got to beat the Argos twice. To do that, if the Argos win next week, they would clinch top spot, but Winnipeg's win in Hamilton today gives the Bombers thoughts of finishing first.
Should be a great football game. Winnipeg coming along. Just, you know, I keep thinking back just as head coach Mike Riley said they would. They had a few spots to fill on offense and defense. They've done that. And of course, what can you say about Bob Obilovich and the Argonauts? They almost wore out the lights at the scoreboard in the last couple of games.
If the Argos have anything to worry about lately, it might be that they'll not be sharp enough for a big game against Winnipeg after playing Ottawa twice. Flags again. Receiver went down. Sinkar fell, and he looks around to find out whether an official thought he was helped down by a Stampeder. Another penalty against Edmonton.
This will push them a little bit more back.
Illegal procedure. Edmonton number 63. Decline. Third down.
Sinkar releasing downfield. Landry in coverage. That little delay and then explosion. Goes down, but the key is after the play. A little discussion carrying on by Mr. Landry here.
As we look in one direction, we can tell you the sun is moving off in the other one as it gets darker and colder at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Lawrence punt. McCurry doesn't have to move to field it. Now he moves near midfield. Good coverage by the Eskimos, and Stampeders take exception to it.
David McCurry got each on the run back for the Stampeders.
Well, it started, I think, with the man who initiated the play, Blake Dermott, who is the offensive guard for the Eskimos, but goes in at center and punting and field goal situation, snaps the ball. He was the first down, and look at the arms on Columbus.
When last we looked at Regina, the Riders were leading by 9. They have a chance to build the lead, but field goal attempt is botched, and the score remains 17-8 for Saskatchewan. Another penalty against the Eskimos for being too aggressive on top of David McCrary, and so the Stampeders get the benefit once again. Kramer throws incomplete, and this will likely be holding against the Stampeders.
Flag down in the backfield. Initial indication against Calgary.
We are now seeing the 12th penalty of the game being announced. It is holding against Calgary. This is a Foster's Lager on the Canadian Football Network. The Eskimos will have the ball to start the second half, and they will have the wind as well.
Greg Vavra warming up his shoulders. Rick Warman probably doing the same thing very shortly. Not necessarily that they're going to go into the game, but in a cool day like this, every 3 or 4 minutes, just like a punter, you've got to stay loose, try to stay as warm as you can.
Well, it wouldn't be a big surprise if the Eskimos at some point in this game change quarterbacks if they can't get the ball moving.
Well, Joe Farragelli, I think, is the type of coach, though, that will stick with the guy right to the end unless it's quite evident that he can't pull it out. Damon Allen has the ability, even when things are going poorly, to pull it out.
Jones steps out of bounds, tried to go back in for a few more yards, but he is out at the 40-yard line.
Stephon Jones on the return for the Eskimos. He gets up to the 40, a return of
Still
16.
Damon Allen. Completed only 7 passes in the first half.
Eskimos from there.
Allen throws far side of the field. Catch by Gizmo. He's out of bounds with a first down, mind you, at the 51-yard line.
Allen's pass to
Henry Williams enjoying the work he's getting at the wide receiver spot. It first started when Stephon Jones went down with a sore knee, but it's been tough to get him out of there. You see him occasionally not go back at the wide receiver spot after a punt return just to catch his breath, but he's exciting and he's dangerous when he's out there.
Overthrew Johnstone. He had him out there wide open and threw the ball a little too far. Perhaps Johnstone should have made the catch, but Allen made it much more difficult than it should have been.
Allen forced to look to the running backs. And very rarely is there a situation where the running backs going into the flats are your primary receiver. Stampeder defense are doing a good job downfield, forcing Allen to make his reads, going from inside out and eventually getting to the running back.
Second down, Eskimos from their 51. Another screen, this to Skinner. Stepping outside nicely. Doesn't have the first down, though. He'll be well short a gain of only 3 or 4 yards on that play.
What impresses me right now, and of course it's tough to tell, is that when you were by the Stampeder bench, but how many red sweaters are going to the football? Not assuming the man is down, but they come and they come and they come. And that's what you have to do on defense. You have to swarm. You want to get in and be part of the tackle.
Nice high punt by Corrick and good distance to it. Stampeders McCrary fumbled it once and then gives up a single point, leading by 5. That's the proper call, you would think. No chance, no sense trying to take the chance of getting it out of there. It is Edmonton's 10th point, and the Stampeders continue to lead by 4.
You almost think by Corrick's reaction that he was trying to get it to either bounce near the sidelines or get it to keep it out of the end zone, preferring to not take the point but just pin them down, the Stampeders down in their own end.
Stampeders break the huddle. Eric Kramer, considering the physical condition that he was in leading up to the game, has done an admirable job today. Threw that one for a short gain. Stanley Blair making sure it was that as he takes Jay Christensen out of bounds, but it's 5 yards for the Stampeders.
That's the pass Kramer had picked off earlier by Stanley Blair, this time not having to throw the ball as far, but still a dangerous pattern.
On second down, Kramer swings it out, and that ball is thrown behind the back. It should be a free ball. Stampeders luckily get over there and knock it out. The Eskimos maybe a little late in realizing what was happening.
Heads up play by Williams. He knew almost as soon as the ball passed through his hands that it was thrown behind him. Therefore, it's a live football.
Holding against the Stampeders as well, Neil, although the Eskimos don't want any part of the penalty.
Awesome. 19 yards on the play.
So that could have been a big break if the Eskimos had been over there to pick up the ball. As it is, The Stampeders suffer a large gain on the play, or a large loss.
Harper having to punt into that wind, letting the clock get down as low as he can, the count clock, before he kicks it.
Pretty good punt by Harper. Hangs up there a long time. Williams. Gizmo's going to go for a run. Or no, he isn't. Great coverage by the Stampeders. Foster's Lager and the Canadian Football Network bring you the best of the CFL.
Gizmo Williams loses 7 on the run back.
We'll let you watch Edmonton scrimmage the ball while we talk via telephone to Winnipeg Blue Bombers coach Mike Riley. Happy about a victory in Hamilton that makes the Bombers pretty safe in second place. I guess, though, Mike, this win allows you to start thinking about the possibility of finishing first.
Well, I tell you what, Dave, we're in pretty good shape right now. It was a good win for us today. It was a tough game. Hamilton really played, I thought, well, and they played hard, and we were glad to win it, and now we'll just see what happens from here on out.
After a season of uncertainty at quarterback, you really seem to have found something in Sean Salisbury. 4 touchdown passes today. He's not the most mobile quarterback we've ever seen in this league, but if you can give him protection, he can certainly hit the receivers.
He sure can. You know, and he did a pretty good job today of avoiding a little bit of rush and throwing the ball down the field. We got some big plays to Murph, you know, we were fortunate and glad to have the great day on offense that we did, because we had a hard time stopping them today, and Winfield had a pretty good day returning kicks, and so it was a wild one. It went right down to the end.
Mike Tim Jesse really adds another dimension to that offense. Maybe the one thing that you've been missing in the backfield.
Neil, that's right. He was a factor. We weren't great running the ball today. He had some good runs, but he caught a deep ball for us, and he does add something to us. He's got great speed, and we're a little bit different team when he's in there.
Mike, you have to be surprised to know that Calgary is leading Edmonton and Saskatchewan trailing BC.
Yep, that is. Both of those games surprised me a little bit, but, you know, right now, the way things are going, you know, anybody is capable of winning and can be tough at times. So it's a very, very interesting year.
Mike, thank you again. We'll look forward to doing your game in Toronto next week, and it is a game that does give the Bombers a chance to think about finishing first if they can win it. See you next week.
Good deal. We'll be there, that's for sure.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have a game, Neil. The Eskimos, as you saw, got their first down as the sun shines brightly now. Allen rolling, throwing the ball to Rick House, who was almost like a lonely end standing there. Gain to the 50 is within 3 yards of a first down.
Eskimos hoping that the Stampeders would ignore Rick House. He was pretty much out of the play. Now, this is what you call deep motion. He's about 9-10 yards back. Then he's just going to sit there and wait. Damon Allen then gets the opportunity to read the coverage downfield, what's going on, and getting it out to House quickly.
Congratulations to the winner.
House relaxes now. It is 2nd down 3 for the Eskimos. Stampeders creeping up. Good hard charge as the Eskimos look to have made their first down.
Chris Johnstone, the ball carrier.
Johnstone hitting up in there. He did when we were talking with Mike Riley a couple of plays ago for a first down, and when he has the ability and given a little bit of room, as any running back at this Eskimo football club has, if they can get that first 2 steps in short yardage and hit up in there with their strength and power, if they're given a gap, they're probably going to get that first down.
Saskatchewan with Dave Ridgway regaining the lead for the Green Riders. They lead by 2 points over the BC Lions. Here it is 3rd down, another gamble for the Eskimos as they send in the beef.
At the 47 of Calgary.
From the Stampeder 47-yard line, Allen fights his way ahead, didn't have to get much.
He's got the first down.
Just as quickly as we showed you Ridgway's field goal for Saskatchewan, the Lions turn it around the other way, and this is Tony Cherry. On the run for the BC Lions. They're back in front as Cherry goes all the way, breaking tackles and diving to the end zone. Late in the third quarter, the Lions are back on top. First down here, Edmonton. 46-yard line of the Stampeders. Allen throws it deep. Sandusky stumbled and fell, and they will throw the flag on Chris Major.
All the way down the field, those two were doing some serious bumping.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 20. First down.
Right now, that looms as a very big play in this game. Now let's watch it.
Sandusky just simply to the outside of Major. You see the jostling going on right there. Sandusky pulls away, moves to the football, but when Major falls, he clips Sandusky's heel.
So it's first and goal from the 8-yard line for the Eskimos, who haven't been in the Calgary end zone today. Allen throwing, incomplete. Gizmo was the intended receiver.
It seemed like after the ball was released that it was knocked down by has to be the goalpost.
Well, it's painted red and white.
Long arms. Sign him up. Sure enough, dead center.
Second and goal from the 8. Allen tries again. Way wide open is Chris Johnstone. Nobody near him. And the Eskimos are in front by 2 points. 16-14.
Well, they don't come any easier than that, and there'll be a few chin straps being snapped off around the goal line now, because Johnstone just simply went into motion. Skinner releases upfield. Johnstone right into the flat. We've seen that play many times. Close to the goal line, the wide receiver step down, the fullback goes to the flat, but none that easy.
Damon Allen's first touchdown pass of the game. Jerry Korick for the convert. It is good, and the Eskimos lead by 3 points, their largest lead of the game.
Brickhouse stays in the backside in case there's extra pressure. You see him release, but see you can almost see as the camera panned across, 3 or 4 Stampeders standing in the middle of the field by the goal line, one of which I assume should have been out in the flat with Johnstone.
So the lead changes back and forth in Regina and here in Calgary. Now, if the Eskimos and the BC Lions should win, what a big day it would be for Edmonton. They'd go back on top of Saskatchewan by 2 points, and it would almost obliterate any playoff hopes the Calgary Stampeders have.
Well, Larry Cahair said it best today in the meetings. Says, doesn't matter next week if we don't win this week.
Eskimos have 3 minutes, 17 seconds left with the wind in this third quarter. And they have scored 8 points in period number 3. Trailed by 5 at halftime, now lead by 3. Kickoff bounces to Stacey Dawsey, the designated import for Calgary. A flag is down, and Stacey Dawsey is out of bounds. The penalties have been so much a part of this game, and another flag will produce another frown on the face of Larry Cahair.
Asking about Stacey Dawsey before the game, they said the biggest attribute he possesses is his speed, and I think he showed exactly why the coaches were talking about him. It's unfortunate that a big play again has to come back.
Illegal block. Calgary number 5. First down.
Well, the biggest penalty of the game was the pass interference call that set up the Edmonton touchdown, but this one Hurts Calgary almost as much.
Hertz is just saying, look to Tom Higgins, the coach, said, we don't have a number 5. How can you call a penalty on a guy we don't have?
Easy.
Yeah, there you go.
The important point is not who did it, but that it was done by a Stampeder, I guess, in the official's mind. Here's Kramer. Incomplete. Diving for it, Mike Soroshka, and you get the feeling this game just might be escaping the grasp of the Stampeders unless they can reset themselves.
Just a reminder about the next University of Calgary Dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's almost a feeling that you get if the Stampeders can't jump back in right here, put a drive together, and take control like they were starting to in the first half, that it might be slipping away.
Well, they are going to have the wind in the fourth quarter, so that's one thing to look forward to. They'd like to move the ball here, 2nd and 10 from their 30-yard line. Kramer throws it nicely. Completed to Emmanuel Tolbert for a big first down. Up at the 48-yard line. No penalty flag. And there's an Eskimo injured way back downfield where the ball was thrown.
Tolbert doing it out. You see all the motion going to the one side. Williams is running a flat and maybe a little bit too deep because the ball, when it's thrown, draws him closer to the area where Tolbert was going. Nicely thrown football right at the right spot.
With the score, Edmonton 17 and Calgary 14, we will pause 10 seconds for the stations from coast to coast to identify themselves. You're watching the Canadian Football Network. Edmonton leads by 3. Alex Carter is the injured Eskimo, which is holding up this game.
Defensive end Carter, Alex Carter down, back behind the huddle of the Stampeders, and there's a good look at Lamont Jeffers, outside linebacker. It's kind of tough to keep that nicely cut, wouldn't it?
Well, especially if he would get traded to a team that is called by another animal nickname. Change it to a lion, I guess, if he ever got traded to them. While we wait for Alex Carter to get up, BC with a 5-point lead and the ball. We'll show you bonus coverage from Taylor Field in Regina. Ricky Foggy handing the ball off. A short game. The Lions dressed 2 running backs today, in addition to fullback Anthony Parker. Both Tony Cherry and Reggie Taylor are dressed. Carter's back up, and we'll come back to Calgary.
Carter really filling in well at that one spot along the defensive line that there was a question mark in a training camp.
After Kramer's first down pass to Emmanuel Tolbert, the Stampeders run the ball. John Williams outside, maybe a yard.
John Williams, the ball carrier.
Well, that early penetration by the Eskimos getting into Williams' path where he wanted to go knocked him back a bit and really destroyed the play, even though he got outside and back close to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 9 from the 48.
Carter has twisted his ankle. Brett Williams was injured earlier, so that Edmonton front 4 in tough shape. On 2nd down, Kramer with good protection. Lots of time. Throws it 2 men there. And one of them, Soroshka, appeared to have caught it, but no, it's Ron Howard with an interception at the 25-yard line. 2 Stampeders, 1 Eskimo, and the 1 Eskimo got the ball.
You have to throw your hands in the air and wonder why 2 receivers are in such a close proximity. Howard's in great coverage. I don't think Eric Kramer's seen that much time since he was out standing in the parking lot. Unfortunately, Ron Howard took what could have been a great play away from him.
Howard playing a different side of the field today as the Eskimos have juggled their secondary. A fine defensive play by Ron Howard gives Edmonton the ball at the 25-yard line. Eskimos leading by 3. Allen throws. Skinner, the intended receiver. That could have been a dangerous pass, as Skinner, I don't think, was supposed to catch it on that side of his body.
Skinner made the adjustment, but as he turned to look at, after making the adjustment, he had Derek Taylor, 21, bearing down on him. See Eric Kramer right there talking with his receivers. His offensive line did a heck of a job giving him protection, but as I said, Ron Howard took what looked like was going to be a good play for the Stampeders away.
Second down, Eskimos, minute and a half to go. That's all the time they'll have with the wind. Allen down. Gain of a yard, perhaps, and it'll third down. Corrick will punt with the wind.
Quincy Williams coming off the block. When Damon Allen starts to release up the pipe, he does a great job of falling in. The tough things about when you have a quarterback, good block by Dermott to take that middle and open it up. But Williams, recognizing that, slides back inside just as Damon Allen tried to escape upfield.
Look from behind, Jared Corrick. Good snap, and he got a great punt away. It backs up Dave McCrary inside his 20-yard line. Good return by McCrary to the 35-40. Still on the go. And there are no penalty flags. Wise to check after every such play today. Well, that's a boost for the Stampeders as they try to regain the lead in this final minute of the third quarter.
66 yards.
Corrick with the wind at his back really hammered one. The one thing you do when you kick it long, sometimes you kick your coverage, and McCrary has the opportunity with about a 10-yard cushion before he encounters any Eskimos, and he does that, gets upfield, and Pierre Verschable makes the tackle at the end.
65-yard punt by Corrick, but maybe that wasn't all so good because of the return that it allowed McCrary to get. Tim Petros is in the clear. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. They'll put him out at the 26, but suddenly the Stampeders, who've been doing no running, certainly not with any success, break a big play by Tim Petros.
Well, you get around the corner, you have to get that corner, and you do it by taking the middle linebacker right there. Danny Bass gets that one leg taken away, just enough so he can't slide laterally and get in front of Petros. Nice block on the corner, too. Then Petros just turns on the jets, and it's Mark Norman coming from his safety spot and knocking him out of bounds.
From the Edmonton 26, after a great run by Petros of 37 yards. Kramer to pass. Who's got it? Another interception. A battle for the football, and Ron Howard did it again.
Larry Willis seeing the ball coming in, figure he's got it open. But Ron Howard just duplicating the coverage that we saw last time that rewarded him with an interception. That's the same type of coverage here. Again, plenty of time. Kramer takes a shot but gets the ball delivered. He has to slow up just a bit. Willis does. And that little bit allowed Howard just to take that one extra step and come up with the football.
Easy to see that it was Howard with the ball and not Larry Willis.
Howard's strength, too, when he gets in a situation, you know, the receiver locks onto the football, too. It just becomes a wrestling match.
No time showing in the clock, so this will be the last play of the third quarter. Losing his footing at the line of scrimmage, Johnstone, and that frustrates him. After 3 quarters of play, the Eskimos are in front by 3 points. The fourth quarter is set to start here. They are in the fourth quarter at Regina's Taylor Field. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are trailing the BC Lions 25-20.
And here the pressure goes right back on the Stampeders defense.
Second and 5 for the Eskimos. Johnstone still at his feet, but does not get close to the first down. Flag is down.
The ball carrier for the Eskimos. So here's the flag down. Quincy Williams made the stop. He just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Situation that'll be declined by the Stampeders, which will put Joe Fergelli in a punting situation.
Edmonton number 2, declined, third down.
Gizmo Williams at the wide receiver position went offside, so Corrick will come in to punt into the wind, and it looks to be blowing now as strongly as it has been all day. So the Stampeders will have an entire quarter with the wind advantage, and they trail by 3 points.
Well, it's an opportunity with that wind to, when you exchange punts, to hopefully increase your field position, and eventually turned into a touchdown.
Lovely ball by Corrick. Bouncing to McCrary, and he is taken down short of his 50-yard line. A good tackle by Brian Walling.
36 yards on the kick by Calgary.
Blake Dermott snaps the ball. Oftentimes he's uncovered and is usually downfield to make the tackle. Because he's had success doing that, he's taken pretty well by Landry. Stays in front of him. Dermott showing his strength there at the end, just using that right arm and pushing him out of the way, but Landry did his job.
Safeway stores, Woodward's and Food for Less. Today, Family Pack section sponsors of Primo Pasta and Big Pickle.
Here come the Eskimos trying to get to Kramer. He throws a quick one. It's it. Caught, and it's going to be a touchdown. They won't catch Mike Soroshka, I don't think. He is gone. Edmonton blitzing on the play, trying for the interception. 2 gambles failed, and the Stampeders go back in front. Kramer to Soroshka, and what a job Kramer did, realizing the blitz was coming, firing that ball quickly.
You're right, the key is to get the ball in there quickly, but I think, including myself, figured that ball was picked up this time by Wilson, but Wilson just overplayed it. The ball was a little bit to the outside, and Soroshka comes up with it. And comes up with a great play.
61 yards for a touchdown, and the Stampeders are back on top. McLaughlin's convert would give Calgary a 4-point lead. That's what it is. Calgary 21 and Edmonton 17. This is a Foster's Lager telecast on the Canadian Football Network. Well, if the Stampeders can win this game, I think you'd have to call it the biggest upset of the Canadian Football League season. Maybe it's close to that. But Calgary has a chance to win in the 4th quarter. A 4-point lead at this point. Gizmo returning, flag down.
71 yards.
And it'll come back as the Eskimos commit another infraction on the kick return.
Well, 1 week can make a big difference, and I think we saw that with Eric Kramer adjusting to what he saw, a blitz, and turning it into a touchdown.
Holding, Edmonton number 47, first down.
Andy McVeigh, graduate of the University of Toronto in forestry, goes down. It's tough not to want to look over your shoulder when you're going down. You haven't seen anybody in your face. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get hit by 300 pounds, Andrew McDonald.
Against the wind, deep in their zone, the Eskimos. First down at the 10. Allen for Stephen Jones, but way out of bounds.
Kramer hasn't taken the thumping he took last week. He's a lot of people have been in his face when he's thrown the football.
I seldom seen a quarterback start the game hurt and get healthier as it goes on, but that's probably what's happening to him.
I think that becoming healthier comes from the confidence level. And we've seen that increase. And I think his offensive line is working harder, and give credit to the coaches this week. They spent a lot of time, I'm sure, getting them ready for a very tough defense of the Eskimos.
Good chance now for the Stampeders to get the ball back for the offense in good shape. Allen throws. That ball is caught at the... No, they say he's out of bounds. Definitely was caught. Rick House as good as any at making sure he is in bounds. Joe Caragelli doesn't agree with the call.
Well, it's tough to say with Coach Faragelli. His emotional level doesn't go up and down too much. He's pretty calm, but the churns inside, you can count on that.
Well, the Stampeders await the punt by Corrick, fully expecting to have the ball with a first down in Edmonton territory. With the wind at their backs. The upset here, very definitely a possibility. And we have 13 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Corrick's put high, but is not going very far. McCrary down at the 30-yard line, so is a flag.
25 yards.
Right after the ball was kicked, Jerry Corrick took off. Wasn't a bad kick, but he saw it was being held up by the wind.
No yards. Edmonton number 47.
Punt's only
First
24 yards. The return and now a penalty, and look where the Stampeders will scrimmage the ball at the Edmonton 19.
That's so tough to run down, cover a punt when your team's kicking into the wind. You hear a good thump. Larry Ruck's getting some help from Kenny Lowe. And you expect the ball to go at least 35 or 40 yards, but sometimes you just get caught.
So the Stampeders with a chance to build the largest lead of the game by either team, as they are up by 4 with a first down at the Edmonton 19. Kramer, nice job. He had pressure through the screen and got a couple of yards to Petros. The important thing, Kramer avoiding the sack and any sort of loss on the play.
Well, when you set up a screen, you know you're going to feel some pressure. It's just you don't want to throw it into an area where you see your offensive lineman pulling out ready to block your receiver and the defense.
Stampeders on second down. I'm sure they want to keep the field goal in order, although Larry Kuhart does like to gamble. Kramer throws it to the end zone. Tolbert is there for the touchdown.
It's one thing to take a hit and you know you have a chance for success. Watch this. He gets hit from behind. That middle's wide open. Emmanuel Tolbert has an inside position on Wilson and then adjusts to the rear of the end zone where the ball is thrown.
Calgary is 10 points in front. Mark McLaughlin with the convert. The Stampeders lead by 11. It's going to take an Edmonton comeback in the fourth quarter to win for the Eskimos. And this isn't the only bad news for Joe Farragalli and the Eskimos, because in Regina, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have regained the lead over the BC Lions. Saskatchewan was down by 5. This is Tom Burgess looking and throwing to Ray McDonald. That puts them up by a point, and they go for 2 on the convert. Right over the middle, Burgess to James Ellingson, and it is now 28-25 in favor of Saskatchewan. Less than 4 minutes to go in Regina. The Riders with a win would clinch a playoff spot, and more than that, if they combine it with an Edmonton loss, they would be 2 points on top in first place.
And here in Calgary, the lead almost comes off with Emmanuel Tolbert, and the recipient of an Eric Kramer pass.
Looking at the West Division from the bottom, if Calgary holds on and wins and BC loses, the Stampeders are very definitely in the playoff fight, only 2 points back of BC. Gizmo Williams on the kick return. Larry Kuharich may see his Stampeders reborn today, and there couldn't be a bigger win than one against Edmonton.
Larry Kuharich knows that consistency may be the most important thing on his offense. Probably didn't want to have to start Kramer, though I'm sure Kramer went to him before the game and said, I'm healthy. And that kind of consistency, I think, is what Damon Allen is looking for. Get to that comfortable spot where he knows where everyone is.
Well, Kramer has certainly outperformed Damon Allen in this game. Allen throws the safe pass to Tom Richards. Not much of a gain on the play.
Once again, we see Allen going to the flat. Occasionally, it's a running back. This time, Tom Richards out of the slot. But I think if you have to give credit to what's going on downfield to the Stampeders, because they're really taking away anything the Eskimos are trying to execute and forcing Allen to go to the flat.
Second down, Edmonton from the Eskimos 39. 2nd and 6. Allen sets up, throws. The receiver was bumped as he went for the ball, but apparently couldn't have caught it anyway. No flag. Larry Ruck gets treated at the bench, and the Edmonton Eskimos will be punting.
Larry Ruck earlier on in the season had a real problem with one of his toes, to the point where they had to make a special, or adapt his shoe with a cover on it. This time more of the instep, as Jerry Cark gets ready to kick into that wind again.
Another low punt by Cark. Good bounce this time. Makes McCurry turn and run after it. He broke one tackle and is down now, still inside his 30-yard line. So the Eskimos gain a bit with a bounce, but they need to gain with points. They're down by 11. The story in Calgary, a couple of interceptions for Edmonton's Ron Howard, but the biggest interception went for touchdown by Calgary's Chris Major, and Eric Kramer has tossed 2 touchdown passes in the 4th quarter. In Regina, Rick Foggy starting for BC has the Lions close, but a big touchdown pass to Ray Elgard, one of 2 by Tom Burgess, has Saskatchewan in front. It's the Green Riders leading by 3, and the Calgary Stampeders leading by 11. Petros bouncing off tackles. The Eskimos tackling has not been sharp today.
Giving credit to Petros, working hard, getting upfield. That's the same play that the Stampeders had success on with Petros breaking it downfield. This time the Eskimos had a few more people out there.
Be ready. 10 minutes left. The Eskimos needing to come back to beat Calgary, and the Stampeders, Eric Kramer, what a job he's done today. Flag down. So is Kramer as he fumbled the ball. The Eskimos will have it if the penalty is against Calgary, as I believe it is. Looked like illegal procedure against the Stampeders.
Stu Hill made the recovery.
Again, the Eskimos relying on the defense.
Holding, Calgary number 51, decline, Edmonton first down.
Well, penalties against Calgary. It was holding, and the Eskimos get a turnover, their 5th of the game.
Ron Howard from the top of your screen out of his halfback spot comes in. This time gets closer to Kramer, knocks the ball loose, and Stuart Hill comes up with the loose football.
Maybe that's the big play that needed to get the Eskimos going. Allen all the way at quarterback, despite the fact he has struggled often in this game. Allen to Williams, and just like that, the Edmonton Eskimos are back in it. Damon Allen to the gizmo.
Allen this time throwing a strike to Williams. Williams going down, breaking to the post, but not quite as sharply as you might expect. He gets that seam right in between the halfback and the safety. Greg Peterson, 24, goes to make the move, but Williams with that speed and quickness, boy, he gets and threatens that defensive secondary so fast.
Eskimos are going to try the 2-point convert now. We saw Saskatchewan do it to go up by 3 against the BC Lions. A good call, and here the Eskimos will try to get 2 points to trail by only 3. And if they do, the score here is the same as the score in Regina. And that's good, because otherwise I'm starting to get confused. Allen throws it. It is 2 points to Marco Sinkar. I wasn't sure he came down in bounds, although they may say that he was forced out. So it's 28-25, and take your pick. Both games the same. The home teams are leading by that score, 28-25. Calgary ahead of Edmonton and Saskatchewan ahead of BC. Here's the touchdown toss to the gizmo.
Interesting to see him go down, and before he made his break, he really wasn't going full speed. But when he did make that break, he exploded. And Marco Sinkar just evading here the pick, and the traffic going across goes up and does get in bounds.
An important 2 points for Edmonton. It does set up the possibility of a tie with a field goal by Cork. Now this is a kickoff by Edmonton's number 4. Hopkins down inside the Edmonton 50.
45 yards on the kickoff by Calgary. Ron Hopkins.
In the final minute at Taylor Field in Regina, the Rough Riders have the ball and need only hold on to it to defeat the BC Lions and clinch a playoff spot and end the long drought.
Well, this is where that running game, Regina, should come in handy for them in the last minute. Run that clock out.
Stampeders will try to run the ball, not with any success on first down to John Williams. Stuart Hill is there, Danny Bass as well. The Eskimo defense trying to get charged up.
Larry Ruck telling you he's all right. He has that ice pack on that right toe or the right foot. Good job by the Eskimos defense to spread it out. With Ruck off the field, he be replaced by University of Alberta graduate Mike McLean, wears number 45.
Kramer in the pocket. Picked off with a block. There could be a long return here by Mark Norman. Stampeders now crowd around him, but another turnover has the Eskimo offense in business once again as Mark Norman intercepts Eric Kramer.
Mark Norman and his movement has been all over the field, be it up at the line of scrimmage and to the outside, but at this particular time, he's playing deep, and he's going to do nothing but read the quarterback. His movement was exactly the same as Danny Bass, only deeper, and he cuts across and takes away that zone that was open for just a second. Getting congratulated by Blake Marshall in the jacket there, who should be back and ready to play within a week or so.
Well, it's been a fine game for Eric Kramer, but his fumble, he had nothing he could do about that, set up a big touchdown pass to Gizmo Williams, and now Kramer's interception, picked off by Mark Norman, gives the Eskimos a chance to drive in for the tying points or perhaps the go-ahead points. Still lots of time left, 8:38. As the game in Saskatchewan is almost over, we've got plenty of time left here, and those turnovers do tell a story. They've hurt Edmonton, but they're starting to hurt Calgary more.
Something that Kramer has to just forget about, at least the situation. Remember where Norman came from in that part of it, but don't worry about the interception because it doesn't matter now.
Running play, Walling for the Eskimos gets 3 to the 45.
He gets down to the 45-yard line.
Brian Walling, considered by the coaches on the Eskimos to be one of the best blocking backs, though he hasn't physically got the size of a John Stone or a Marshall, Spallettini, any of those guys. He's got great position when he does go in and block.
Second and 7. Hit as he throws it, and it falls incomplete.
Pressure came up the middle. You see Allen get off the ground.
Here's a field goal attempt by Dave Ridgway from 47 yards away. It hits the goalpost. Saskatchewan would have been up by 6 points. So the lead is only 3. And the Lions have the ball with a chance to tie or maybe win still in the final minute at Taylor Field. Let's go there now with an injury to a Calgary player. Only 19 seconds left. The Lions will line up quickly. They are down by 3 points. They are at their own 25-yard line, so they've got a long way to go just to think of a field goal by Louis Pasaglia. Foggy back to pass. He is hit and still on his feet, but the whistle will blow the play dead. Bobby Jurison was there. Gary Lewis as well. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are celebrating even though the game is not over. The ball's still in BC's possession. You're not missing anything in Calgary. The Stampeders are still treating an injured player, and it's a last-ditch attempt for the BC Lions.
The Riders will just bring 4 people. That front 4, drop the linebackers and all the defensive backs deep.
Third down and 20, and Rick Foggy's got to look a long way downfield, and he hasn't got much time. This will probably run out the clock, so the Lions had better score right here. They complete the pass, and now, where's the band? That's it. The game is over. The BC Lions tried one lateral to keep the play alive, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders have made the playoffs for the first time in a dozen years, and right now they are in first place by themselves. If the Edmonton Eskimos can't come back and win this game, Saskatchewan will be there for at least a full week.
Well, the Eskimos had a chance there to move that much closer, stalled by the Stamp defense.
actually the stands for scrimmage first and 10. Johnstone.
Joe Farragilli's thoughts of that different formation that he explained to us this morning, Dave, of Stefan Jones in offense, lining him up at slot and moving him around, hasn't seemed to pay off.
They just announced the final score in Regina. And, of course, the fans here in Calgary love it that the BC Lions have been beaten. Here's Kramer. Tolbert spinning away from tackles. He beat 3 of them and is still on his feet. Emmanuel Tolbert with a big play. Another big completion by Eric Kramer. And the Calgary Stampeders come all the way out of their zone. And they're at the 41-yard line of the Eskimos.
Emmanuel Tolbert has the monopoly of at least the left arms for the bands. Watch how he breaks tackles here. And they're more like hits. No one really wrapping him up. Everyone going for the big knockout punch. He just keeps his feet and keeps moving, spinning, and is able to get away. Great effort by Tolbert.
And another good pass by Kramer has had bad things happen to him the last couple of possessions. A gritty performance by a battered quarterback, Eric Kramer. Threw that behind the intended receiver, Christensen. I guess Kurt Gibson is inspiring injured athletes in all sports.
You see Calgary go into that almost like a total protection scheme. Seeing the Eskimos, everyone up along the line, they try to create this big pocket. But even then, Alex Carter, who went off just a few minutes ago with an injury, gets to Kramer.
2nd and 10 from the Edmonton 41. Kramer's under a rush. Incomplete. Tolbert trying to get to it.
Kramer looking for Tolbert.
Kramer, a good job to get rid of the ball, and he had to throw it then because the Eskimos were descending upon him.
3rd down.
Well, Kramer's able to evade the rush. He does a nice job of sliding. Tolbert gives that little shoulder fake inside, holds Wilson just for that second to break to the sidelines. Very catchable as you see that right hand's coming down to slap the turf.
Brett Williams has been in trouble all day, and he is down again for the Eskimos. Yes, Tolbert should have caught the pass. It would have been a very big catch.
We've seen Brett Williams' face throughout the game, both on the field and on the sidelines. He's having some problems, first with his back, and by the look of Ken Lowe, it was his knee this time.
The remaining schedule for the Edmonton Eskimos and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Edmonton must play BC twice, and the Lions proved in Regina today that they're a tough test. And Edmonton also has the Calgary Stampeders once more, and this indicates that's going to be tough. Saskatchewan plays Hamilton and then Calgary and Ottawa, and right now the Saskatchewan Roughriders would have the edge in the schedule, and right now they've got the edge in the standings. And right now we've got General Manager Bill Baker on the phone. Bill, you're in the playoffs, and more than that, right now you're in first place. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. And I say the first time in 11 years has been a long, long time for us, so we're all very, very pleased.
You made it exciting at the end. The BC Lions gave you a tough time without Matt Dunnigan, so it has to be rewarding to win a game like that and to get such a reward with it.
Oh, no question. About 10 minutes ago, we scared the heck out of ourselves. We didn't play very well. We didn't score when we should have. BC came down, and I thought returned the ball well. They had field position on us all day. And I think if our defense hadn't come through at the end, and I think that obviously Matt Dunnigan not playing made the difference.
Bill, you will hope that the Calgary Stampeders make a field goal here. They do not, as Gizmo Williams brings it out. Flag down, and flags have really hurt the Eskimos on kick returns today. The Calgary lead remains 3 points. Neil, the question for Bill Baker.
I just have to say it has to be very satisfying, Bill, to see what you started to build last year and sticking with the people and having confidence all the way around, both in the offices and on the field, and see it just come to the way you had planned it.
Okay, Neil, yeah, we tried to build a total team instead of relying upon one player. And I think that's the reason, or that is the reason right now why we're where we are. We've got a whole bunch of guys who are playing well versus 1 or 2 people who are the stars, and it's great to see so many guys play so well. What's the score over there?
Calgary leads by 3 points.
How much time left?
Keep the cheering down. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And turn on your TV set, Bill.
I'm upstairs. I haven't got one. I will in 2 minutes.
Damon Allen's pass is fumbled. Our thanks to Bill Baker, who will now rush to a TV set and cheer wildly for Calgary.
Yeah, you're not kidding about that. See you, fellas.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Great story in Saskatchewan. Really the highlight of this CFL season, I think, no matter which team you hope for. Everybody's second favorite team, at least, is Saskatchewan, I think.
And partially by the way they've done it. They said what they were trying to do last year. They stuck with their guns.
Second down, Eskimos deep in their zone. Allen throws it over the middle, nobody there. So a punt from the end zone coming up.
Offensive line of the Eskimos having to pick up some stunts. See Hector Pache stepping down. Walling stepping up into the face of Jeffers. Keeps him off Allen just long enough. But Allen overthrowing Rick House over the middle.
Stampeders have been doing a good job on punt returns. Been avoiding penalties. That alone makes it better than Edmonton. Corrick from the end zone. This is a good punt. His last couple have not been this good. McCrary, though, inside the 50 when he gets it. And near the 40 when he goes down. Following this game, we'll select the Foster's Lager Most Valuable Player. If you missed it, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are in the playoffs with a 28-25 victory over the BC Lions. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders could be alone in first place if the Calgary Stampeders hold on to this 28-25 lead over the Edmonton Eskimos. Throwing it deep, Tolbert falls down, and the Stampeders bench, everybody is complaining about interference, and I'm sure they're saying this is the same thing as the interference called against Calgary earlier when a defender fell over a receiver. That's exactly what he's saying now.
And a little bit more, I would suggest.
Kramer continues to throw the ball right where it should be thrown. Second down play. Edmonton 41. Come on. Kramer throws it. Short and wide of the intended receiver, Larry Willis.
Well, Kramer, recognizing the defense is a little bit better than he did last week, and actually as the game progresses knows he has to get the ball out quickly. That time he had the formation he wanted to, and Willis to the outside, but the throw just a little bit behind him.
McLaughlin will try another field goal if he can make it. It almost takes the field goal away from the Eskimos as a weapon late in this fourth quarter. 47-yard attempt. Lots of distance, not enough accuracy. Single point is conceded by Gizmo, so as far as that goes, Calgary gets more than a field goal in front. Gizmo Williams deciding not to come out, or maybe being told not to come out.
Well, you can see that Williams is definitely a threat. Calgary, after the ball was kicked, sometimes the offensive line have a tendency just to back off, assuming someone's going to give a point. But when you have a guy like Williams back there, you better get down the field.
We have less than 4 minutes to go. The Eskimos down by 4 points.
Does the Stampeder defense gamble a little bit, or do they try to rely on the pressure strictly from their front four and drop everyone back into coverage and make it tough to throw the ball downfield?
From the 40-yard line, 41 really, which was the point of last scrimmage, the Eskimos go first down. Allen, a bullet. Completed to Jim Sandusky, and he's into Calgary territory.
Stampeders only bringing 4. Damon Allen has to stick this ball in the zone. The quick break by Sandusky. The halfback and the linebackers are working to that side, so that ball has to be thrown right on timing. 1, 2, 3, and bingo. Get that ball in there. Unharassed.
From the Calgary 53. Short pass, and Allen could not hit Chris Johnstone. Hard to imagine how you could throw that one incomplete. 3:03 left, and the Stampeders lead by 4. This CFN game is brought to you by Foster's Lager. A nice time for the break as the Eskimos have a chance to ponder a very important second down call, 2nd and 10 from the Calgary 53-yard line. Sandusky to the top side, and Gizmo Williams, flank left of Damon Allen, who is rushed, throws incomplete. Being careful not to throw the interception, but there was little chance it was going to be completed. Here's what's happened in other games in the CFL today. Very significant results. Winnipeg over Hamilton. The Blue Bombers reasonably safe now for second place, but also give themselves a chance to finish first. And Saskatchewan in the West is first right at the moment and is in the playoffs officially with a 3-point victory over BC. Corrick, a low snap. Wobbly ball handled by McCrary. 25-yard line. First down Calgary with 2:41 to go. Next week, the first of a home-and-home series between Winnipeg and Toronto. If the Bombers can win, they're alive for first. If they don't, the Argonauts will finish on top of the East Division.
Really comes down to that. Who would have thunk at the beginning of the season how close things would have been, especially in the Western Conference. And Winnipeg, after the way they started the season, made a remarkable recovery.
First down, Stampeders. They keep the clock moving with a running play and make yards as well. Nothing better than that for Calgary at this point, as John Williams gained about 8 yards. Close to 9. And that's the reaction in the Edmonton bench. The Eskimos should have known that the Stampeders would like to run. Couldn't stop it, though.
Well, right there you saw Don Southern sending in the defensive call.
Second down, a little more than a yard. And look at that play by the defense.
More specifically, Brett Williams, who's been bothered by a knee and a back, still in the football game. And boy, he gets through, takes an angle, and just pops Williams.
Loss of a couple. It'll be a third down. There's 3 yards to go.
Forces the punt by Glenn Harper. Gizmo Williams will go deep. Tom Richards will be halfway between the ball and the Gizmo. Harper averaging just over 42 yards today. The clock is moving down toward the 2-minute mark. And they block the punt. Edmonton Eskimos coming up with a big play at the 35-yard line of the Calgary Stampeders.
Harper's punt was blocked.
Now where's the spot? Because if it's past the first down marker, is it not Calgary first down?
He ran it up to the 35-yard line. It is very close to first down yardage.
They'll have to measure, I believe. Talk about a lucky bounce if the Stampeders keep the football.
I'll tell you, the refs should keep their eye on the football. They're surrounding it now. They're not going to let anybody move it.
What an unbelievable turn of events if Calgary gets to keep the ball on a blocked punt. It is short.
While all that was going on, Steve Benjamin was getting some help to his feet.
Well, I think we just
he makes the block.
What a great play by Benjamin. He's just getting up now. This is the most important measurement of the season.
That was an outstanding effort by Benjamin. Watch how he just sends himself into orbit. Look at this. Whoa! Gets hit by Petros, so keeps him going even higher, but touches the football.
Barely short of a first down after Bruno Jeremiah had recovered it, and here are the Eskimos. Big gain up the middle for Brian Walling. Remember now, it's a 4-point difference. So the field goal doesn't help the Eskimos. They will go touchdown or nothing.
Well, Benjamin might not have started this game at corner where he's quite accustomed to playing, but I'm sure he wanted to make a difference somehow in some way, and he couldn't have made any more of an impact in this football game than what he did in this last play. Greg Peterson helped off. He'll be replaced by number 32, Darcy Kopp at the safety spot.
Been a wild day of football at Regina's Taylor Field, Hamilton's Ivor Wynne Stadium, and now today, McMahon Stadium, Calgary. First down, Eskimos. Alan rolling. He's going to run it. Ooh, took a hit even though he went down to avoid save.
Allen keeps it himself down to about the Calgary 16-yard line.
The Eskimos are after Doug Landry for that hit on Damon Allen.
Oh, they thought it was unnecessary. Allen, earlier in the game, you'd see him hold that ball up and try to threaten the secondary throwing it. No question this time he's going down and sliding. Eskimos take offense to that shot he took by Landry.
He is down at the 16-yard line. The clock moving. 1 minute and 35 seconds as the Eskimos break the huddle and come to the ball. Second down, they need about 2.5 yards. Johnstone tries to get outside. Chris Johnstone to the 10-yard line for a first down.
Well, you get so used to seeing that short yardage play hit up inside in between the tackles. This situation, you see Dermott pull out, come around. He makes contact, but Johnstone pops it in, then back outside. Gets himself the first down before he's taken down.
So they're 10 yards away from a go-ahead touchdown. And the field goal doesn't help with Edmonton trailing by 4.
Do you run it or do you throw it?
Stampeders almost offside. Now they throw a flag. And I assume the whistle comes from the flag, and the offside penalty is going to be called. Or motion against Edmonton, one or the other. No, it's a 5-yard penalty against the Stampeders, which really hurts Calgary.
Well, when a defensive player's drawn offside, he's going to complain aggressively that he was drawn.
Well, now the Eskimos have got 3 chances from 5 yards out. It is first and goal from the 5. 1:09 to go.
You got to think the Eskimos are going to run the football
3 times. Johnstone the first time, and he is near the goal line, but not over it. The Eskimos think he is in. As long as they get in, it doesn't hurt them to run another play and run some more time off the clock.
Well, he makes the last 2 or 3 yards on his own, pretty much backing in, pulling some Stampeders with him.
Put it out at the 1-yard line and go on second down with the clock moving, and that's to the Eskimos' favor right now. 3 backs behind Damon Allen. He can keep it, or he can hand it to any one of the 3. Allen himself reaching and scoring. The Eskimos are in front with 47 seconds to play. They are up by 2. No 2-point convert this time. McCorrick will make sure of the 1 and make it a 3-point difference.
Very gratifying for Damon Allen. He steps to his right. He follows Dave Richardson, Rod Conop, Trevor Bowles, and that surge. Remembering, though, that after the Stampeders get the ball back on the ensuing kickoff return, they will have the wind behind them, and McLaughlin has a pretty strong leg.
The Stampeders won't be able to win with a field goal. They could tie with a field goal. Eskimos lead 32-29. Edmonton up by 3 points, and here is the touchdown that puts them in front. Allen once wasn't going to get in, and he just had to take one little more step to make sure he was across the line.
Well, you saw the continual work along that offensive line even after the impact was made. On the left side, Dermott comes around backing in. He realized how important that surge can be, and just a little more push can make a difference sometimes.
It would be a disheartening loss for Larry Kuharich and the Calgary Stampeders, who have performed well all day long, have battled the Edmonton Eskimos right to this last minute. And in the end, I guess it would be turnovers and a measurement It was as dramatic as any you'd ever see. But they've got the Stampeders trailing right now. Corrick's kickoff right along the ground. Bounced up nicely for Calgary's Ron Hopkins. He's taken down near the 50-yard line with 42 seconds left. So how far would you think the Stampeders have to go before McLaughlin has a makeable field goal?
15 yards, and I think they're within his range. So this little game plan with the 42 seconds left have to center around how they're going to get 15 yards. More if it's possible, but not to force it.
Kramer running for his life now. He has done it pretty well, though. He'll get out of bounds. A wise play by Eric Kramer. No way to throw that ball up for grabs. 33 seconds to go. He actually gained a couple of yards.
Damn! Two Eskimos getting their feet slowly. Man on the left is Danny Bass on his knees. He's up. Lying so closely together, you'd have to think that the impact came fairly close. There's 30 coming in, going for the hit. Carter and Bass. Danny Bass is back on his feet. Good play by Mike McLean when Kramer did take off, cutting off the angle and not allowing him to get to the sidelines and then to the first down marker.
Mark McLaughlin expecting that he might be called upon to try to force this game to overtime.
Well, when Larry Kaharich told us about McLaughlin a number of weeks ago before he became a Stampeder, he said one of the things that impressed him when he was on the practice roster is to see Don Southern meeting with the secondary of the Eskimos was McLaughlin's strong leg. He says he's young, he might not be as consistent right now, but he has all the abilities and capabilities to be a good one.
Well, we saw his numbers today, 2 for 4. The 2 unsuccessful attempts have been the 2 most recent ones. He made his first 2, and then he's tried a couple from beyond the 45-yard line and has missed them. One was short, the other was wide. So they've got to get probably 20 yards to put him in that sort of position again. Stampeders are ready to scrimmage, but the Eskimos aren't ready to defend. They're still clearing the field of their injured players. 33 seconds to go as Stuart Hill, or Alex Carter rather, is helped off the field.
Please don't let him go deep.
Now, you don't like to see it when they need help coming off. It's one thing to get injured, stand up and walk off on your own, but when you can see them taking very careful care of that right leg.
And the Eskimos have to substitute on this play with the injuries on the previous one. Here's Kramer. Again rolling out. Throwing just in the nick of time. Picked off Don Wilson. He juggled it, he held it, and it is Edmonton ball with 26 seconds to go. And again, a turnover ends what would have been a great victory for the Calgary Stampeders. They had a shot, and after all day long getting good protection and avoiding this sort of thing, Eric Kramer is down now.
And he's down for good reason. He takes a heck of a shot. You watch him move out of the pocket right here to try to get away from some of that pressure, but he can't get away from number 91, Brett Williams. Good opportunity to see it from ground level. Stuart Hill takes that step inside. The pressure that comes back out. But he does get back in the play and helps Williams take him to the ground. And what a great play by Wilson.
We're true champions. We're going to come back. We're true champions.
Hey, Mom, Dad, I got to say one.
Hi, everybody. Edmonton, Washington, D.C. Hi, everybody. True champions.
Kramer is up after being hit. Toaster Williams nailed him. This is the play that won it for the Saskatchewan Roughriders today. Tom Burgess to Ray McDonald. He catches the ball over Keith Gooch, who had made a big interception earlier for the Lions. It now appears as though the Edmonton Eskimos will stay on top of the West Division, though. Technically tied with Saskatchewan, but in front because of an advantage in points in the season series. Calgary Stampeders will still be 4 points back of the BC Lions.
John Stone, the ball carrier for Edmonton.
Right now, the Stampeders, I'm sure, directed, if not reacting on their own, to go to the football. Whoever's carrying it, try to strip that football. And Larry Caher can only hope that is what happens.
Calgary does go to Ottawa next week, and we needn't belabor the point that teams that play against Ottawa have a reason to think they can win. Calgary, though, needs a whole lot of help from British Columbia opponents. That means Edmonton the next 2 weeks and Winnipeg in the final week. So it's not impossible for Calgary to make the playoffs. Certainly not if they play like this. But doubtful that the Stampeders can make third place. The first place battle, though, could go right down to the final week with Edmonton and Saskatchewan tied and vying for home field advantage in the Western Final. Very important for the Eskimos, who have not lost at home and who have struggled on the road. If they win this, it would only be their third road victory against 5 defeats. Saskatchewan, of course, tough at home too. 7-1 with today's win, and they're below 500 on the road. Everybody is except the Toronto Argonauts.
Rick Warman, who's acquired by the Eskimos a couple of weeks ago, is the insurance man at quarterback.
Clock moves, 6-5. Allen will just protect the ball and run the clock as long as he can down to 3 seconds when the whistle blows. And now we've got a slugfest in the backfield of the Eskimos. Derek Taylor took a shot, got up, and is looking for revenge and isn't being able to get back at the player that he was mixed up with.
Well, there were 2 hits there. Sincar hitting Taylor and Taylor hitting the ground. That's why he's back up.
3 seconds. Let him get mad. I'm ready to get out of here.
There wouldn't be very much excitement in Regina, would there, if they were first place and the Western Final was there? Do you think you'd get excited about that?
Well, they're going to host a playoff game one way or the other as the first place team or the second place team. So not only making the playoffs, the Saskatchewan Roughriders will be the home team in a playoff game, and that's even better. Gives those fans a chance to go out and cheer them in person rather than...
But, you know, the fans deserve it, but the football players have played awfully well. They deserve it. You go out and play for your fans, and everyone's been talking about it's been a long time since there have been some winners. Think about the guys like Roger Aldag, who have suffered through the bad years. He deserves it.
3 seconds to go. Corrick will punt, making sure that he gets it off. Nobody back for the Stampeders. They were up there trying to block it. Now they'd love to have a no yards penalty. Corrick is the Edmonton Eskimo that got near the ball. I think the flag will be ignored because Jerry Corrick was down there trying to get the ball, and I don't know if another Eskimo was in there. Better wait and see, though.
You have to assume by the reaction of Coach Joe Farragelli and everyone else that it'll be declined.
Number 4, the kicker. It's legal.
Game over. Edmonton Eskimos stay right where they were when this day started, on top of the CFL West, but it was a harder